Hello, welcome to the Monday Lunchtime Digest. I am Micah Perkins. Haley is out on a well-deserved vacation today. So, in her place, I have ChatGPT, who I have named Serena. Kind of elaborate on that, but I'm gonna get to that later. But anyway, so we are replacing Haley with AI today. I'm not sure exactly how she would feel about that, but let us see here. Hello, Serena. How are you doing?
Go ahead and roll with it, Micah. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'll do my best to fill Haley's shoes, though I'm not sure I can match her charm.
all right.
So, what's first on our agenda today? Do you want to jump into what's coming up the Oklahoma Counseling Institute or start with research?
Yes, Serena, will you please talk about what's up at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute?
Absolutely, Micah. So, coming up at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute, we've got two in person workshops scheduled for Friday, April 5th. First up in the morning from 9 to 12:15 is In Vivo Exposure, Practical Application in the Treatment of OCD, Phobias, and Social Anxiety. It's designed to give therapists some hands-on strategies for using exposure techniques within CBT. Really practical stuff for folks working with anxiety disorders. Then, after lunch from 2 to 5:15, there's Introduction to Gottman Method Couples Counseling. This one's all about giving therapists a solid overview of the Gottman Method, like understanding the sound relationship house and recognizing those four horsemen that can really damage relationships. Both workshops offer 3 CE hours, so it's a good opportunity to knock out some continuing ed and pick up some useful tools for your practice.
All right. Thank you, Serena. Serena, will you please tell me one research finding about in psychology that you find interesting?
Oh, absolutely, Micah. One that always sticks with me is the research on self compassion by Dr. Kristen Neff. She found that people who practice self compassion, treating themselves with the same kindness they'd offer a friend, actually cope better with stress, anxiety, and even failure. What's wild is it doesn't make people lazy or unmotivated like some might think. Instead, it helps folks bounce back faster and even take more responsibility for their mistakes. I just think that's powerful, how being kind to ourselves can literally change how resilient we are.
All right. Thank you, Serena. I really appreciate that. So I'm just going to share here real quickly in case anyone is interested. Let's see, I'm going to block this out. And right before I got on, I did just a little bit of prep work. So um, let's see, if we look at right here. So right here, I said, hello, Serena, how are you today? Hey, she responded, hey there, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How about you? I'm doing well. So we're going to do the Monday Lunchtime Digest today. How would you like to participate in that? Sounds like a great plan. I can help summarize key points, highlights, any important updates, or even suggest action items. Just let me know what you need. Then I gave her a little bit of context. The Monday Lunchtime Digest is a video podcast where I and Haley talk about upcoming trainings with the Oklahoma Counseling Institute and current research findings in mental health. Haley is gone today. Will you be my co-host? She responded, I'd be honored to be your co-host for Monday Lunchtime Digest. Let's dive in. What topics or trainings are we spotlighting today? Any new research articles you want to break down? Or should we start with a friendly intro like, welcome back to the Monday Lunchtime Digest, where we serve up a plate full of professional development and the latest mental health research, perfect for your midday break. Let me know how you want to roll with this one, partner. And then I said, I'll start with an intro in a few minutes. You got it. I'm standing by and ready to jump in whenever you cue me. Let's make this a good one. Just holler when it's time, and I'll be your Haley for the day. So then I gave a little bit of idea, a little bit of direction. When I say, Serena, what's going on at the Oklahoma Counseling Institute, I want you to discuss 2 upcoming trainings. The info for the trainings can be found here. So I entered in the links to the trainings from our Oklahoma Counseling Institute website. She then just wrote out a quick summary there. And then that's it. So that's all I did right before I got on to the Monday Lunchtime Digest. And then that second part, when I asked something to the effect of, Serena, would you please? All right, thank you, Serena. Serena, will you please tell me one research finding in psychology that you find interesting? So I hadn't given her any type of context, no idea that I was going to be asking that question. And so then she came up with that on her own. So just something that's really interesting to look at AI and how it is playing a part and how it will continue to play a part, looking at these things like ChatGPT or Gemini for Google. There's a few other ones out there. Haley did a ethics training, I believe it was last year, on utilizing AI in counseling. So she gives a lot of historical backstory to AI, kind of its development, and then also talks about how we can use AI ethically. Of course, this is quickly evolving, and different EMRs are starting to use AI to be able to help summarize notes and things like that. So if you haven't already been exposed to it, you will be soon. So it is good to be able just to familiar yourself with it, just like way back in the day, whenever the internet came out and we had to kind of get on and figure out what a search engine was and how you found different things on the internet, things like that. So it's good to go in, find an AI, and just kind of play around with it a little bit. Just to give some type of caution, if you use it to help you write your clinical notes, you want to make sure that you do not put in it any identifiable information. Now, that is, I'm not talking about in the context of if you're using it with your EMR, your electronic medical record. If you're using it in that context, then you're going to want to find out, a little bit about the details on that as far as where that information is stored and things like that. I'm just talking about in general. If you're playing around with it on ChatGPT or Gemini, don't put any identifiable client information in there, but you can put in a summary of, met with client, they talked about their depression, discussed core beliefs and challenge core beliefs. You can type in just a little summary there, ask it to write a soap note for you, and it will. And then what I do is I just copy and paste that into my clinical record, and then I obviously do a little bit of editing it to make sure that I put in any identifiable information that I need to put in. So, for example, if we're doing telecounseling, we need to have the address that the client is calling us from. So I may edit that in once I put it into my medical record. Don't include it on the AI because it's not HIPAA compliant. We don't know where that information is going, but can put it in the medical record. And then also, if there's just some other type of nuances that in its summary it didn't quite get right, you can edit it then. So it's a really useful tool. So I encourage everyone to just start playing around with it a little bit. But going off of Serena, so Haley, I don't think that your job is in jeopardy at all because she is able to give some information, but she just really lacks the personality that you have. So I think that your job is safe. So don't worry, Haley, about that. I would like to talk about a few things that AI Serena did not talk about. So one of the things that is coming up also is the Summer Super Summit. So you can learn more about Summer Super Summit at summersupersummit.com. And that is May 15th and 16th. We have a wonderful panel speakers that's coming to speak for us, lineup of speakers. And so really want you guys to check that out. I think it would be a really, really great opportunity to get a great in-person training and be able to see people that you maybe haven't seen for a while. So that's one of the things that we like to is to give people an opportunity to connect with each other while they're there. Also, we have started a Smart Recovery Friends and Family group here at Edmond Counseling Professional Development. So if you are not familiar with Smart Recovery is the largest non-12-step support group in the nation. So it is not based on 12-step. It is instead based off of cognitive behavior therapy and other therapies as well, acceptance commitment therapy, and those types of approaches. And so it's based off of current research, and so the curriculum is continually evolving. And so in looking at that Smart Recovery, We started here in Edmond in 2014. It is the longest running Smart Recovery meeting in Oklahoma. And we have recently, just last week, started the Smart Recovery Friends and Family Group. So the Friends and Family Group is Smart Recovery's answer to Al-Anon. So if you have a client that is a family member of someone that's dealing with addiction or is a friend of someone dealing with addiction, I encourage you to check out the Friends and Family Group. Information about both of those, the Smart Recovery Group and then the Smart Recovery Friends and Family Group, can be found at smartedmond.com. All right. So other thing I want to talk about briefly, just in the world of mental health, I brought Serena in to help co-host this today. And a recent study came out. It was published by Fox 25. It is on the Facebook feed for our group here. So this was published in Communication Psychology. They studied people that called into crisis counselors and then asked them who was more compassionate. So was an AI, quote unquote, crisis counselor, or was a human crisis counselor determined to be more empathetic and compassionate? And what their research showed is that the AI was found to be 16% more compassionate than the human crisis counselors, and that the people that called in preferred the AI, quote unquote, counselors 68% more than the human crisis counselors. So what does that mean? Well, in the article, it talked about, one of the reasons may be for this is because of compassion fatigue. So if you have a human crisis counselor that's there, that they're just hearing crisis calls one after another, then they may get worn down and their empathy may understandably wane. Whereas with the AI, that it doesn't. Their empathy does not wane over time. So that's one of the things that they're saying may be the reason for that. Does that mean that as mental health therapists are going to be out of a job? I do not think so. I think that people are going to always want a human interaction with someone as opposed to an interaction with a computer. Having said that, there will be certainly people that will use interactions with a computer and may prefer interactions with a computer more than with a human being. This is probably a poor metaphor, a poor analogy, but I kind of think of it as going to the mall and being able to get a massage with one of those massage chairs versus going and having a massage by a professional masseuse. And so some people prefer just the human touch to things. Some people prefer to go someplace and get the massage. And what's going to be interesting, though, is when the massage chair is as good or better at performing massages than the human massage therapist. Now, of course, I'm not talking about that literally. I am talking about whenever AI gets to be a better therapist in the sense that it is better able to give interventions and suggestions and things like that than a human therapist. But I think that there will still be people that would prefer being with a human rather than talking to a computer. Again, not everyone. Some people will prefer talking to a computer rather than a human. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out of that, but to be continued. As I said, Serena was fun to have on today, but we will not have her permanently taking place, our Haley human, not taking her place. So last thing, talk about our weekly winner for today. So it is Udella Reynolds. Congratulations, Udella. You have won a free online or on-demand course for continuing education. So if you just email us at hello@edmondcounseling.com and let me know what free course you'd like to be enrolled in. So how did Udella win? Well, Udella won because she answered the questions. She liked this post, this video, and also shared it. So anytime that you like, comment, or share, each one of those enters you into the drawing that you may be able to win free continuing education. So congratulations, Udella, on winning that. So what is our question of this week? Well, our question for this week, go if you could travel anywhere in the world right now. So the question is, where would you go if you could travel anywhere in the world right now? So answer that question and you will be entered to win the next week's drawing for the Monday Lunchtime Digest. Thank you guys so much. I hope you have a good week. Anytime that you tell anyone about us, that you attend one of our in-person workshops or on-demand courses or live webinars, and anytime that you do that, you tell anyone about us, anytime that you like or share a post, then you are helping us to meet our mission of providing quality continuing education for mental health professionals. So thank you guys so much for that. All right, everyone, have a good week. Bye-bye.